Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back to my channel, my lovelies. If you've never been here before, I'm so happy you found me. I do still hope that you will like and subscribe before you leave. Become part of the Mama family. Mama's got your back, at least where makeup's concerned anyway, and definitely when that makeup is cheap. Today is our third True Love Tuesdays, and today we're going to be talking about Frida Kahlo. Now, this one is not necessarily so much a love story, but someone I'm truly inspired by and truly think was just an incredible, extraordinary, flawed human being. And her story is just one that just really, I enjoy. And I hope and I think that you will enjoy it as well. Now, it is kind of a love story. I'm going to work and talk at the same time because, y'all, I'm filming this at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I want to go to bed very soon. Plus my power keeps going on and off, which is so freaking weird. But, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, life goes on. The show must go on. And I'm very far behind on my filming schedule. Not because I've been being lazy, but just because there's not enough hours in the dang day. So I already have my eyebrows done, guys. I always come on here with my eyebrows done. They look a little bit caterpillar-y today, but that will get better. That will, once I get the face done, they'll match. They'll blend in just a little bit better. I'm gonna go in with my NYX Ultimate Shadow and Liner Primer. Guys, this thing is hanging on. Like, it is the tube of eyeshadow primer that will never die. And honestly, I'm kind of living for it. It is such a great value. For as long as this thing has lasted for me, I think it justifies the price over and over and over again. This tube of eyeshadow primer has lasted me literally forever. And I don't go easy on it either. So I'm really quite impressed with the longevity of this. I think it is, I loved it before, but now I just think it's such an incredible product on top of an incredible value. And we are here for it. Pinching pennies when we can, where we can. Y'all, if we can make an eyeshadow primer last us for 6 months, then it is definitely something that should be on our radar. Just saying. Okay, so today we're talking about Frida Kahlo. No, I can say that with a better Spanish accent, can't I? Frida Kahlo. I suck. Okay, Frida Kahlo. Crazy, incredible, amazing, strong woman. She was a Mexican artist. She was a beautiful soul. She was a very well-known, very renowned traditional Mexican painter. She has done so, I'm not going to go into like the technical side of her work because that's not really what this is about, but she was an incredible woman, very talented and very strong. I do want to go into a little bit of her backstory just because I want to really express to you just how strong and resilient this woman is. I mean, all of us have a little something that we can learn from this woman. I really believe that. So for my eyes today, I'm going to use the Violet Voss Olive You Forever palette. This is so pretty. This is such a pretty palette. Look how beautiful she is. Super neutral, but so cool toned and just like, I think this is a sexy palette. I think this is a very sexy palette. I also think this looks very bridal to me. I'm not sure why, but it does. It looks very bridal to me. So we're going to do this kind of eye look today. I'm just thinking about doing something very just kind of winged and maybe a little bit aggressive, but still sexy and soft. And I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to use it though. So she when she was younger, she got polio, guys. So she got polio when she was younger, and this indeed affected her for the rest of her life. It crippled her, basically. So it left her with problems in her leg and her foot. I believe it was her right leg and her foot. I'm going to use this big diffuser brush, this big fluffy brush, and I think I'm just going to start building as I go. So I'm just going to start like building layers. So let's go into the lightest shade in the palette, lightest matte, which is this one, Wink. Yeah, let's go into Wink right here. And I'm just going to start building this on each eye. And kind of see how it goes. So yeah, she came down with polio and it crippled her. It left her with severe issues in her leg, and this also affected her later on in her life, because she ended up having to get the leg amputated later on in life. She didn't live to be very, very old. She died fairly young. But not only can y'all see what I'm doing? But not only did she catch polio when she was younger, but then when she was in her late teens, early 20s, she was in a streetcar accident and was pierced by the handrail, and the handrail actually pierced her stomach and went completely through her body. And this like really, really messed her up. It left her with chronic back pain and spinal damage. And I mean, it was a big, big deal. And then not only that, but it left her pretty much infertile. This accident would prohibit her from being able to have children throughout her lifetime, which was something that she felt really, really strongly about and really wanted to happen, but it was unfortunately not in the cards for her. So after the polio and after the streetcar accident, she meets a man named Diego Rivera. I want to say Riviera, but I don't think it's Riviera. I think it's Diego Rivera. And he was, again, he was brain farts why you don't film videos at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so he was a renowned painter. He was a very, very noticed and recognized painter. He also shared her view on, really embracing traditional Mexican values. He really stressed the importance of, clinging to their culture and holding on to their culture. He was just a very well-established artist. And she actually met him when she was still in high school for the first time. She met him while she was still in high school. Her high school actually commissioned him to come in and paint a mural. And it's recorded that she actually told her best friend at the time that she was going to have his babies. And she did indeed try later on in life. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for her. But she was right. That was going to be her man. So a few years later, she's out of high school. She's a woman now. She's becoming an established painter. She's finding her roots. She's finding her niche. She's trying to figure out what she's all about. And she gets reintroduced to Diego through the Mexican Communist Party. And this was right after the Mexican Revolution. So they're basically like rebuilding their country. And the country is basically looking for people to like show them the way. And Diego is one of these people that is very proudly saying, this is where our country should go. This is the direction our country should take. And, Frida enjoyed that. She enjoyed that his strength. She enjoyed his verve, his zest. She enjoyed his charisma very, very much, and it kind of attracted her to him. And then, very, very shortly after that, they ended up, getting married. And they would stay married until the end of her life. So they were together for a very long time. So, guys, I'm going to go and take the same brush, and I'm going to go into a slightly darker shade now. I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Wishful. I want to say that first one went on so incredibly beautifully. It is like the softest. It is just the softest, like whisper of this really beautiful smoky, almost mauve-y kind of tone. It's like this mauve-y, cool toned brown that is so, so beautiful. It literally looks like, and this shade is so light, but it's going on my eye so pigmented and so smoothly. I don't usually use shadows like this because they don't usually like tickle my fancy. But this one, I am telling you, is so pretty. There's just something about the tones in here that have got me going gaga for no apparent reason. It's so pretty. Oh, I love that. Okay, I think I'm gonna go into a slightly smaller brush though. I want to be a little bit more precise with my application. Let's go into this Dew Color brush. This is just a Dew Color flat eyeshadow brush. And I'm gonna go into the same color, and I'm just gonna start building up a little bit of depth now. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so she met and she married Mr. Rivera, Diego, and guys, their relationship was, to say the least, explosive. Like, you would like picture the quintessential like happy home, happy relationship, very much in love, newlywed lovebirds, and then picture the exact opposite, and you will have them. It's recorded, it's said that their relationship was equal parts passionate, spiteful, explosive, and loving. So, and not only that, but they both depicted each other very, very often in their works. So, oftentimes, Frida would paint Diego. And in her paintings, you could always tell how the relationship was going, because she would either paint him in a like favorable light, and you know, they would be close, or she would paint him as this big like monster. And I think that is so telling, especially like with artists. It always seems like they're, you know, they love hard, they hate hard, they work hard, they play hard. Like, it just, they do it all 100%. There's no middle ground. And when you have two artists that are equally as passionate, I feel like it's just kind of almost a recipe for disaster. I'm going to take this Moda crease brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Endless Desire. So this one right here. And I'm just going to start playing. I'm just kind of packing stuff on my eye at the moment and seeing where it takes me. I'm going to put this on the outer corner of my eye and bring it through my crease. Just start deepening things up and blending a little bit and building a little bit of depth just on the outer portion of my eye, like that. Can y'all see what I'm doing? Probably not. Y'all see on this side though. Okay, so they meet, two of the most prominent artists of the 20th century. They meet, they marry. Inevitably, they start to fight. But the thing about their relationship is neither one of them stayed faithful. And this is something that I thought was so interesting, because like, Frida didn't want to have an open marriage, okay? But Diego didn't really care. So Frida was like, okay, all right, what's good for the gander is good for the goose. So she just took her cue from him, and she decided that if he didn't want to be faithful, she didn't have to either. So throughout their marriage, this man had children with other women. He had mistresses. And mind you, this man has already been married and divorced before he even married Frida. He had already been married and divorced, had a mistress, and had children with multiple other women. So then he marries Frida, and the cycle continues. He continues to philander. He continues to screw around on her. And not only that, but get this. So on top of him, like, running around on her and not really caring or respecting her in any way, this man has an affair with her younger sister. Okay, her younger sister named Christina. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I read this, I hated him. I hated her, the sister, even more than I hated him. Because could you imagine if your sister, could you imagine if your sister had an affair with your husband? Like what? I'm gonna go into the dark, deep dark matte now. I'm gonna go into Infatuated, which is just a little bit deeper, and I'm going to mix a little bit of this deep dark brown matte, which is Charmed, and I'm just going to, again, build up that outer corner and start building up a ton of depth and really get my outer corner nice and deep and smoky. I'm just going back in with that first big fluffy brush and making sure I don't have any lines. You cannot look at this color, though, and tell me it's not absolutely freaking stunning. I am so in love with it. I just know that this look is going to be so incredibly smoky and just, like, I find that it's, like, so sexy. I just think it's such a sexy color, and it gives the eyes such a beautifully, almost natural, kind of sophisticated, smoky sexiness. Oh, I'm gonna do like a brown smoky liner and stuff too. Ooh, okay, I'm excited. So, this man has an affair with her sister. And not only that, y'all, but I don't even know. I don't even know what I would say other than I couldn't imagine if my husband had an affair with my sister. And then not only that, but her sister is basically, okay, and at this point, they're not even living together because, you know, he is the way that he is and she doesn't want to deal with it. So she wants her own space. So at this point, they have adjoining, look how beautifully that deepened up my corner, like effortlessly. Okay, so at this point, she's over it. She's done. So they have adjoining studios. They live in two separate buildings, but the buildings are like right next to each other. And somehow, Mr. Rivera gets caught, and Frida finds out that he has been doing the nasty with her sister. And she loses her mind. She shaves off her hair. Now, if you've ever seen a picture of Frida Kahlo, you will know that she is very, like, she has a very distinct look. She's got the big brow. She's got very long, dark hair, red lips. She's always in traditional Mexican garb. And after this, she shaved her hair off. And pretty much lost her mind, right? Which is super, super understandable because, like, again, who wouldn't lose their mind? But after that, she also painted one of her most well-known portraits, and it's of her. It's called just tiny little nips, or just a few nips. Something like that, and she's laying on a bed, and you can tell that you can see she's laying on a bed naked, and she's like she's slashed from head to toe. Her wrists are cut. She's stabbed through the heart. She's bleeding, and then over the bed is Diego, and he's holding a knife, and he's covered in blood. And you can just, when I saw that picture and I knew the whole horror story behind it, I felt her pain. If you guys look up that picture, that painting, which I definitely suggest you should do, just because I think it's definitely worth seeing, you can just feel the emotion. You can feel her pain and her sadness. You can feel almost her desperation in a way, because I almost felt like at that point she was trapped. She wasn't trapped by, financially or, physically, but she was trapped because she still loved this man. she loved this man and didn't want to. He had broken her cut her into tiny, tiny little pieces, and she's trapped because she loves him and she can't let him go. So it's a super difficult position to be in, and I couldn't imagine having to deal with that. But after that, she did interviews, and after that she really started more focusing on herself and focusing on, you know, what made her happy and who she was outside of Diego. Because again, guys, she's been with Diego since she was super, super young, okay? And basically has formed her identity around him. Because, I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, a lot of us have done the same thing. I've been with my husband since I was like 19. I've been with my husband since I was 19, and I know that much of my identity has been built around his preferences and what I know he likes and what I know, you know, pleases him. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but when the person that you've built yourself around becomes someone that you don't like anymore, what do? Do you then dislike yourself because you can see so much of that person in yourself? So she began to really, you know, explore other avenues of herself, and her art changes after this. And it's in interviews. I read this interview where it said that she started, because he liked that she dressed in the traditional, you know, feminine Mexican like skirts and flowing blouses, and that was his aesthetic. That was what he enjoyed. But she said that she enjoyed, you know, exploring a little bit more of her masculinity, a little bit more of her, you know, masculine side with suits and things like that. And after that, she painted another painting. This one, I don't remember the name of this one. I'm so bad at names. But this one it's a self-portrait. It's a portrait of herself, but it's three of her. And they're standing there, and all three of their hands are tightly clasped. And it's supposed to represent that she knows that the only person she's really got is herself. And I thought that resonated so much with me. I mean, and would resonate with so many people in general, because really, when you think about it, a lot of us feel that way. A lot of us feel like we don't really have anybody to count on but ourselves. And it's sad, but it is so true. It is so true that 99% of the time, the only person you really have is yourself. And if you're not happy with yourself, and if you're not content with the person that you are, then how can you be a content person, period? I don't know. I just thought it resonated so much, and I really enjoyed it. But her and Diego, they stay married for this point. And then they move all over the place because Diego gets commissions for paintings and things. She gets commissions. She has an art show where she sells a ton of her paintings. Life gets good. At some point, they get divorced. I'm not sure what happens, but they do get divorced. And then, y'all, they get remarried. They divorce, and then they get remarried. And they stay that way until her death. She actually died from complications of the polio, and she just had severe health issues anyway. She wasn't a super healthy person. So she ended up passing. But after she passed, Diego kept her house and turned it into a museum. Now, throughout her life, I don't feel like this man really acted like he loved her and really showed her that he loved her, which is so sad, because if there was anyone that deserved, you know, love and to be shown love and respect, definitely would have been her. She put up with some serious bull crap from that man. But I believe in his way, in his own way, he did love her, because he did turn her home into a museum and kept it that way. Tried to keep a little piece of her alive and around, which I thought was nice and sweet. But they never ended up having any children. Unfortunately and very, very sadly, she suffered multiple miscarriages due to complications from the accident, the streetcar accident that she was in. So she was never able to have children, which makes me so sad because she, on multiple occasions, said that she wanted desperately to be a mother, but it was sadly never in the cards for her. But I don't know. I feel like it's tragic, but it's also inspiring in a way, because through all of the pain and through all of the through everything, she continued to create. She continued to focus that and channel that pain in such a way that she was able to leave such a legacy behind her. I mean, her art is still around. She's still, to this day, a very highly acclaimed and you know, very talked about artist. She's credited as being one of the most important artists to the feminist movement, period, to females everywhere, not just Spanish women, but to women everywhere, and especially to Spanish women. She is kind of like a pillar of strength and quiet, and not even that, but quiet strength. I think class when I think of Frida Kahlo. And I know that it's probably not like, that's not the word that I'm really kind of looking for. It's more like quiet determination, quiet suffering, maybe just, I don't know. There's something about her though that really just kind of makes me think, makes me grateful. I don't know. And I think she's really, really a cool person to know about. So guys, this is what the eyes look like. I think they are so, so beautiful. I'm going to take my hair down so I don't look quite so rough. I'm tired, and you can tell. I took a shower earlier too, which made me feel so much better. Anybody else feel like a million times better when they get to take a shower? I took a shower and I washed my hair. I love it. Always feels so much better. So this is the eye look. I'm going to do a little bit of a smoky brown liner situation because I just feel like this eye look calls for it. So I'm going to do it. And what am I going to use? Because I have a million and one eye pencils, but I can never find the one that I'm looking for. I think I'm going to use Milani in the shade Semi Sweet. And I think I'm just going to do like a line across my upper lash line. Of course, I'm going to be posting finished pics on my Instagram and over on my Facebook. So you guys can definitely go check that out if you want to. But I think I'm going to start talking about old movies too. So let me know if you guys are going to be interested in that at all. Just talking about like old Hollywood movies, just because it's something I'm so in love with. I know I talk about it all the time. If you guys ever get tired of it, just let me know. I think this brown is so perfect with this. It's like a super, super neutral chocolatey brown. It's not warm, but it's got just a touch of warmth to it, but it's also super, super neutral. I'm going to take an e.l.f. smudge brush, and I'm just going to take that on my bottom line and kind of blend that in just a touch. I want to keep this pretty smoky and pretty dark, so I'm not going to blend it away a ton. Just like that. Just soften it just enough so that it doesn't look quite so stark. But I still want it to be nice and dark and like make an impact. I love that. That smoky bottom lash line just makes all the difference. I love it. I love it. I'm going to take the same brush. I'm going to wipe off the brown. I'm going to go into Major Spotlight, which is the lightest shimmer in the palette. And let's do a little bit of a inner corner highlight. Let's see how bright this is. All the other shimmers in this palette were freaking fantastical. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a little bit of like a duochrome kind of thing. It's got a little bit of a like gold shift to it, which works really, really pretty with the green and the brown. Not doing a ton of it. The highlight always tends to fade. Let's put a little bit, just the smallest bit up on the brow bone. Just a tiny touch of it. Not as much as I usually do. I think we need a little bit of brown on the lower lash line too. I'm gonna take, let's take my Moda crease brush it off. Let's go into that Wishful shade, which is the second lightest brown matte. Take that just on the bottom lash line. Probably about 3/4 of the way through the lower lash line, just to add a little bit of smoke. I'm also gonna finish my makeup and I'll post a picture. But y'all, if I did my base makeup on this video right now, we're already at 30 minutes. We'd be here for an hour and a half, because I'd sit here talking to y'all and I'd end up talking and not working, because that's what happens. That is so pretty though. I love the colors. It's so soft and like just smoky and just, oh, it's like timeless and classy and sexy and smoky. I just love this color story so much. I knew I was gonna love it when I saw pictures of it online, and I'm so glad I just kind of went for it. I'm gonna smoke out the brown we put on the upper lash line too. I'm glad I remembered that, because I almost forgot about it. I'm just going for like a really smoky kind of hazy effect on the lash line. But what I love about this Milani Stay Put Liner is once it sets down, it does not move. Like, it is there. So it'll stay nice and smoky throughout the day. This is stunning. So, so pretty. Guys, I love you so, so much. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Let me know if there's anybody you guys would like me to talk about next. I have a little bit of a list going on, and I have, you know, a couple of options and a couple of people that I'm excited to talk about. But if there's somebody that you're super interested, I, of course, will check it out. But I guess the kind of moral of this story, of today's story, is just be strong. Be strong. Know yourself, know your worth, and know what you're willing to deal with. I mean, people do crazy, crazy things for love. I think I say that in every single one of these videos, and it couldn't be more true. People do very, very crazy things for love, and Frida was definitely one of those. I love you so, so much. Everything I used, well, I only really used one thing. I just used the Violet Voss palette today. I love it. If you guys have been eyeing this, I definitely, definitely recommend this. It is super, super neutral, but the tones in here are just absolutely stunning. It's this really beautiful mauve-y olive toned palette that I think is just absolutely incredible, super, super easy to work with, and I think would be completely flattering on just about everybody. I, of course, will be posting finished pics. The link to my Facebook page and my Instagram handle will be in the description box below, along with the palette and just a general note telling you how much I love you. Until next time, my loves, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you're part of my family because I want you here. You want to be here. You might as well just do it. Just do it. Just commit. Just commit. Don't be Diego. Commit to me. I'll commit to you. Let's do this, okay? I love you so much. Until next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And remember, you're important. Bye.